5th. So for
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless program. This will be for Wednesday, the 27th March of our Lord.
Our Lord and Savior,
As
Lord
always,
on high.
I'm one of the hosts, Big Irish J. Hollingsworth.
You certainly are.
You're talking over me. It's kind of rude. We have... We have...
What? Who? Cocaine.
Kane Holloway. Oh, I'm so amped for this because... so much. Well, it's actually we don't have so much to talk about, but we have so much to talk about the small amount of topics we have.
Yes, we have. We don't have that many topics.
Yes,
because we have a lot to talk about with our one top. Three topics.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't wait. Oh.
So let's get the least important out of the way first. Your album recording.
Oh, that's that. I knew it was coming before you even.
Let me set it up.
Let me
set it up. Okay.
Do what you gotta do.
Today we're recording this on Monday, and last night Kane recorded his album at the Ice House.
Would have been nice if my best friend was there. But
well, it would have been nice if your best friend was on the fucking show.
Cool.
Do you want to get into that?
Yeah, we can get into whatever you want.
Oh, so Kane tells
piece
me,
of shit.
Oh, I'm the piece of shit.
I didn't do anything wrong.
You didn't do anything right.
I didn't do anything.
Okay, let's put it to the people watching. So Kane hits me up. When was it? When did you find out?
I found out months ago.
Yes.
And I hit the guy up months
hold on,
ago.
let me...
Okay.
I'm recording an album. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'd love for you to do time. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Awesome, Kane. I'm in.
I wanted to have a bunch of people
and then from
on the show.
Let me tell my story.
Go ahead.
The months leading up to that, hey, we got a weekend of work for you this weekend. You know what? I can't.
Can't do it.
Because my best buddy's recording an album.
Best buddy in the whole wide world.
I swore I'd be there for him.
Yep, it's true.
And so then, like 2 weeks ago,
I double checked.
Am I on the fucking show?
Can I have Jay on? And he...
you don't ask, you tell.
I can't ask. It's not even really my show. It's his show.
It's your album recording.
Yeah, but I'm not even the fucking main guy on the ticket. Jamie Kennedy was the main guy on the ticket. That's how much weight I have. I can't even... My album recording, I can't get an hour.
You're not even headlining your album recording?
No, I have to fucking do the middle. And then I have to have either Jamie Kennedy do the check drop spot and close it out, or Kelsey close it out. All right? So... them's the bricks I found. I asked the guy.
Them's the bricks?
Them's the bricks.
I think it's breaks.
Yeah, well, I say...
Them's the breaks. Okay, thanks. Kelsey confirmed you're an idiot.
No, I'm not an idiot.
We kind of already knew that, but...
How would we know that? I'm enjoying...
Kelsey, is he an idiot?
I'm not an idiot. She's not on
Kelsey,
the show.
fucking yell something out.
Don't say anything.
Is he an idiot?
Don't say nothing.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. No.
He's a sweet dum-dum.
I'm not dumb.
So, yeah, so I didn't get to perform or go to it last night.
But I got him a set on chocolate sundaes. I got a lot of pull over at the Laugh Factory, specifically for the chocolate sundae show.
Really, who books it?
Pete Holmes.
All right, so anyways, I think we've established Kane's an awful friend.
How am I an awful friend?
You get it.
I'm an enjoyable, lovely person I find myself to be.
Cool. So you had your first show was at 7:30?
Yeah.
How was it?
No, it was at 7.
7.
It was great. It was packed, sold out show. Really only had, we didn't put that many people up. Kelsey went up and opened the spot, and then it was me, and then it was Jesus Trejo.
Oh, cool. That's cool. He got
I don't even know Jesus until last night.
Jesus is great comic.
He's also
he's not your best bud, but that's cool.
I didn't put him on the show. I didn't even know Jesus until last night. I had no control over the lineup.
Cool.
I didn't even book Kelsey. He booked Kelsey.
Great.
Okay? So I couldn't even say whether or not Kelsey could not be on the show. In fact, I could go to him and say, I don't want Kelsey on the show, and he'd tell me to go fuck myself. So I can't even...
You should have took yourself off the show.
I have no sway one way or the other. I did my best.
Did you? All right. Anyways, go on. So you record, or it's you, or no, Kelsey, then you?
Kelsey, then me.
Then Jesus.
And then
Jamie Kennedy.
And that was it. That was the whole show.
And you weren't doing video for this? This is all audio?
No. I have video, but it's mostly just for referencing. But yeah, it's going to be an album that 800-Pound Gorilla is putting out. And
do you have the name?
Yeah, Can't See Straight.
Can't see straight.
It's something my dad used to say to me.
Oh, because he gets so angry.
Yeah, he gets so angry.
And then he has the eye.
And he has a lazy eye. So yeah, it's basically it's a dedication to him.
Nice.
So yeah, I can't wait for that to be out of a few years of writing and working on that material, and I just had the idea, and I hit up Corey, and he was like, "Let's do it." So rather than like make a whole big plan, and just try to go, oh, next year, 2020, I'm gonna get I just like I want to get this shit done now, and Corey was there to help me out. He's a lovely guy. Lovely dude, and they put on a great show at the Cool Beans Comedy.
Thanks for putting me on, Corey. So you're now. Are you doing? Did you do like you did 2 shows? Did you do 2 different 30-minute sets?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna take those 2, and that's the one shot thing.
Yeah.
You got one shot. I mean, since it's audio, if you mess up, you can be like, let's do that one over.
Yeah, but luckily, Corey kind of put it to them like, hey, you're gonna experience something, so make sure like you give him the most, give him like all your energy. Pretty much try to exhaust yourself this show, and then give the rest to Jesus and Jamie if you have any more in the tank. I'm sorry, am I touching you? And that's exactly what they did. Fucking awesome. They were great. Both crowds were amazing. A few people I know came out and supported. It's real nice of them to come to the show and support. Try to get them spots too.
I wonder if they had to give up work to come out there.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure somebody had to give up a shift somewhere.
On a Sunday night, probably not.
Probably.
I mean, they give up a whole weekend?
Maybe somebody did.
Who?
Greg
who?
Barrett. Maybe he gave up a whole weekend just to be there for his buddy.
You don't know.
Well, I don't know for sure. I didn't ask. And he doesn't put it in my fucking face
Did you also
every 8
tell him he had
seconds.
time he was going to be doing?
No, I didn't say. I didn't even tell you had time.
You did.
No, I didn't. I said I want to have you on the show.
Oh, fucking boom! Kelsey dropping the hammer. Kelsey gets it. All right. Let's just move on. We get it. You're an asshole. All right.
Why am I an asshole?
Do you want to go over it again?
Yes, because
your fiance just told you.
Well, she's a bitch.
Look at the look she just gave you.
Yeah, she gave me a real bitchy
and
look.
now an X. All right, and second show, the second half hour went good.
Yeah, lighter crowd, but definitely they were hot fire. Hot fire, as it were.
You don't really do black crowds, though. You got it now?
No, I got it. No, I got it when you said it. I just was processing what I'm supposed to say next.
Yeah. All right, so...
Now who's the asshole?
You.
No, not me. I maintain that it's not me. Anyway, but I'm sorry you didn't get a set. Okay, you happy now? I'm so sorry, Jay.
I mean, it doesn't really sound sincere.
Humble apologies.
I mean, I lost out of thousands of dollars.
Thousands?
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands?
No, just thousands.
Right. Well, then I don't give a fuck.
I would think I would.
If it's not hundreds of thousands, then shut up.
I don't really have anywhere to go on that argument. This is fucking kind of weird. I'm just befuddled. All right. I saw Amir. I did a podcast. Do you know Evan Fonseca? He's going to be, I think, next week we'll have him. But he did my podcast like 6 years ago. I took him up to Seattle to feature on some shows. And now he doesn't really do stand-up anymore. But he's doing a podcast about the TV show Boy Meets World.
Oh, I love Boy Meets World.
I'll tell him to hit you up. I've never seen an episode, but I had fucking homework for this podcast.
Is it the same as when you never saw a single episode of Martin?
Yeah, for All Def Digital?
Yeah. Is it
No, this one I really had never seen an episode. Okay. So I had homework. I had to watch an episode, and then he interviewed me about it, and I was like, so you know the show.
Yeah.
What's the principal's name? Feely?
Yeah, Principal Feely.
Yeah, I think he's touchy-feely. I think he's a pedo.
Oh, really?
No wife? No kids?
No wife. He lives next door to one of the students.
Creepy as fuck.
Yeah, and he's always in the backyard at the exact same moment the kids come out.
What?
Yeah, in a robe, holding a half gallon of vodka. I mean, yeah, he is a creep, and he's got a mustache, but he always had good advice.
Ugh, he was the worst kind of person to hang out with in a green room because he's always trying to use fancy words, and you're like, just fucking use the normal one, you asshole.
Principal Feely?
Yeah, Feeny. I think it's Feeny. But I call him Touchy-Feely.
Touchy-Feeny.
So I did that thing, and then
man, Boy Meets World. Topanga. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I don't know who that is.
Topanga's beautiful.
But I also saw for the second time the movie Us.
Us. Yeah.
So we saw it opening night. And we'll tell you when the spoilers are about to start. So right now there's no spoilers. So as we're watching the movie, I'm going through the movie, and as I know it's getting close to the end, in my head I'm like, oh no, man, I was really pulling for Jordan, and one.
You want to do a synopsis of the for those who may not know what we're talking about?
The movie Us?
Yeah, Us.
Well, I don't want to tell. We will on the spoilers part.
Okay.
But what I'm just saying is, I want people to understand this about the movie. So, as I'm watching it, and you're down here, Sean's here, somebody I think is Ken's over here, and as I'm watching it, it's getting towards the end, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like, oh no, he can't top Get Out, and I was really pulling for Jordan, and I'm hearing also rumblings from other people, and I was like, and when it ends, as I'm walking out of the theater, I was like, maybe give it a 6.
Yeah.
And then we go outside, all of us.
Yeah.
And we talked for 30 to 45 minutes, and I'm like, it's a fucking 10!
Yeah.
There's so many layers.
Yes. We walked out of there, both Jay and Sean were sitting at a 40% rotten.
Yeah.
And somehow got up to a 98, 100% certified fresh.
When you were walking out, were you already at 100?
No, I wasn't at 100. I was processing everything because it wasn't one of those movies where you got right away. And I felt like when you're watching it, it's like I don't think Jordan is trying to just make... I don't think he would go out of his way... I don't think this is spoilery. But I don't think he would go out of his way to make a horror movie like this one. That's as vague as I can make it sound. Like, he wouldn't go out of his way to make this, and the way
the most obvious.
Yes.
Okay.
There's obvious plot points to it, and there's also moments in the movie where it's intense, and then that just sort of dissipates, and you're trying to wonder, for a guy who's so well versed in the genre of horror movies, and especially since the last great horror movie I'd ever seen was Hereditary, and that was last year. And that one...
You know that guy's got another one coming out?
Oh, my God. Yeah. I'm immediately seeing that shit.
Right. Have you seen the preview?
No.
Oh, you don't know about it?
No.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
So that Hereditary had everything going against it and for it, because when you're watching Hereditary, it's really slow
burn,
and then you finally get to the moments where it's the most intense, and it is so claustrophobic and intense, and then shit where you think it's going to be a jump scare, and then when you think it's going to be a jump scare that nothing leads to it, or something big leads to it, he completely pulls the fucking rug out from under you. And what you think is going to be something that's going to make you go, he just makes it, he stretches it out longer. When that fucking kid wakes up.
On the wall.
And she's, she's chilling on the wall. Yeah. And then you think she's going to jump down and attack him. But instead, when he turns to look one way, she's floating behind him, but like she's crawling on the ground. She's like in midair, crawling away, flying. It was probably one of the scariest fucking things I'd ever seen. And people were so tense in the movie theater. So you come off of that, and then you also have...
This is all Hereditary, by the way, not Us.
Not Us. So I have that in my head, and I also have, I got Get Out in my head. So
and I was going to say, the other part of Hereditary that tripped me out is when he's in the attic and you just hear bang, 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 bang.
Oh, yeah.
And you're thinking the mom is just fucking going like this, and then it cuts to her and she's upside down again like Spider-Man, fucking banging her head,
smashing
on
her
the
head.
thing.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. But okay, so you're thinking Hereditary, Get Out.
Yeah, so when there's those moments in Us when there's like tense scenes and then nothing happens, you're thinking like, oh, he's going to make it more tense. But then it's immediately alleviated. Like immediately there's moments where you're thinking you think like the husband's going down as an example. And then he drags it out. And then you're thinking like, okay, then when we cut to him, it's going to be really intense and it's going to be a really exciting moment. And then it just isn't. So that happens quite a bit throughout the movie. And you're trying to figure out why. I'm not sitting here going, this guy Jordan Peele, of all people, wouldn't do this if there wasn't a bigger and more broader point to his movie. But but I needed time because it just ended, and you know I'm not a genius.
Yeah.
So I gotta like figure. I gotta unspool this, and that's what we just. And I think the last 40 minutes of us talking about the movie was the best part of the movie.
Oh, dude, it was like. Yeah, like each one of us would be like, dude, remember this? And then we're like, you have reactions where you're like, oh, shit.
Yes.
And then, okay, so now we're going to talk about it in detail. So we're going to give spoiler alerts right now. It's roughly whatever the time is in the podcast right now. Set your timer on your thing for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, spoilers, starting, hold on, and I'm going to make a spoiler noise.
Okay.
Ew. Get it? Because it's spoiled.
Okay, so, well, you should set an alarm, not a timer, because I can look at a fucking timer on the thing. Jesus, what a dummy. Starting over. Okay, so.
We're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got to make
You really are dense. You're like, we have a timer on the thing, and you're like, let me just put a timer next to the timer.
2 timers. I can't see all the way over there. All right, so
double time.
Now I have it. Okay,
so
good to go.
30 minutes from right now. Move forward on the podcast if you don't want to hear spoilers.
Yeah.
If you've seen us, then here we go.
Spoiler talk now. Ew. Because it's spoiled.
P.U. All right, so we talked about a couple things. Like we'll go over the things that we talked about after the movie.
Yes,
and then I just saw it again, so I want to tell you what I think.
Ooh.
So we talked about like the little hints, like when she's on the beach and Lupita says, "I'm just not very good at talking." Mm-hmm. Hint 1. I'm trying to think of all the fucking hints we had mentioned. I'm so focused on the thing I want to talk to you about.
You focus on what you want to talk about. I'll recap the movie real quick.
Oh, yeah,
so,
yeah.
So basically, this family, the movie opens with this family in the 80s. This little girl is watching television, and it's moving through these commercials, one of them being the Hands Across America that's started around 86. Lasted for about 15 minutes. We found later on after we did some research, and it was to promote and help and raise money for homelessness. Cut to, it's her birthday. They're at a carnival on the beach, and she wanders off from her family, goes into this like
madhouse,
Hall of Mirrors, and runs into a girl who's wearing the same shit as her with her back turned to her. Then it cuts away. You're assuming it's adult version of her, played by Lupita Nyong'o and her entire family. She's got a son, daughter, husband. Husband's driving them to this beach house. They're on vacation.
Well, I think before that though, she sees there's the girl in the mirror that's dressed like her, and then it cuts to she's at a psychiatrist's office. The parents are talking to the psychiatrist, right? And then they're like. You know, she's having post-traumatic stress disorder. She's not talking. And she's like, you should enroll her in arts and get her to, you know, and they're like, I just want my daughter back. I don't want her to, you know, like, why is she not talking, you know? And like, she has PTSD.
And that's another one of those moments where you think it's going to be something crazy is going to happen, and then it cuts away, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, now I don't have to be tense anymore.
Yeah.
And so then she's in the psychiatrist's office, and the little girl's not talking. Then it cuts to older version of her, and you can see she's like aware of her surroundings. Like she's very aware of everything. And the husband wants to go to the beach, and he convinces her, even though she's really hesitant, she doesn't want to go.
Well, so they're driving to one of their mother's house, the grandmother that passed away, that they had gone to the year before. Mm-hmm. So they're at the house, and they're, you know, like the dad's telling the daughter to like unplug, you know, it's not internet, this is outer net. And the son, as they're driving there, remember, she looks back at the son and she's like, come on, get on beat. And he's like trying to get on beat, and she's trying to get him to get on beat.
Yeah.
Then when they get out there, the son has a magic trick. It's like looks like a lighter.
Yeah.
We don't really know what it is. And he's like, oh, it worked last year. I don't know why it's not working, right? And then the dad's like, we're going to go down to the beach. You know, the son's been weird since grandma passed away, right? And she doesn't want to go to the beach. So they go to the beach. Go on.
Yeah, so they're at the beach. They meet up with this white family played by Elizabeth Moss, the wife. She has She's from Handmaid's Tale, and I love her. She's amazing. She's great. She's a great actress.
Focus on us. I've never seen that.
She's a great actress, and she's great in this.
Okay.
And so anyway, she's this lush, kind of like rich socialite kind of vibe you get to her, and the husband is like everybody seems relatively normal. The white couple seems very unhappy. Like she's drinking constantly, and she's trying to spark up a conversation with Lupita Nyong'o, and Lupita's just like, look, I can't talk. I just have trouble.
I'm not very good at
talking. I have trouble expressing myself and talking about myself. And right at that moment, a frisbee flings by, lands perfectly on a circle that's imprinted on the blankets. And then we move over to the white family's 2 daughters. They're twins, and they're near the son, who is playing in the sand, and he's digging a tunnel. And they're saying how weird he is, and then the daughter, the son's sister is like, yeah, he's a fucking weird kid, and we got to look after him. And he's always got this mask that he either has on his head or puts on his face occasionally. He walks over to go take a piss, and that's right next to the Hall of Mirrors haunted house area that
in '86 that
the little girl was
into. Yeah.
And he notices this guy with his back turned to him. He's wearing a homeless jacket and then a red jumpsuit. One hand has a glove on it, and it's dripping blood. Yeah. He's just chilling with his hands out, which is fucking crazy to think about now. He's just going, all right, I did my...
And Birkenstocks.
Yeah, I did my part, and now I'm waiting until we get linked up. That's
that's
crazy.
Also... so when they were driving to the beach, let's go back. When Lupita was a little girl and she went to go to the madhouse, she passed a guy that it had 11:11, or he had a sign that said Jeremiah 11:11.
Yeah.
As an adult, when Lupita and her family were going to the beach, they drove by an ambulance that was loading that guy into the thing, and he was all bloody.
Yeah.
And he had a sign. He had the sign Jeremiah 11:11, and he was older. That was the guy outside of the mirror thing.
Right.
That was his tether.
Right. And so...
And his hand was bloody. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
So Lupita realizes that her son's missing, so she freaks out. He wasn't gone for very long, but she loses her shit anyway, runs over and says, you can't do that shit. And then she wants to leave, so they go back to the house. And...
I can't wait to tell you my new discoveries.
Oh, man. Okay, so then...
Fly through this, because I'm fucking so ampy.
So the husband wants to chill and have like a normal weekend, but Lupita she can't stop freaking out. She decides that she wants to finally tell him, like, look, when I was a kid, I saw a girl. She looked exactly like me. I'm afraid that this little girl she's coming. Like, she's going to... come here and get me. Like, I was in a hall of mirrors and I saw someone who looked exactly like me, and then the husband's like, you were in a hall of mirrors.
Yeah.
And like, when that moment happened, I started laughing to myself, and then everybody had moved on, but I'm still laughing. So anyway, like the second she tells him the deal, all of a sudden there's the sun comes up and he's like, there's a family in our driveway. And they walk outside and there is a family of 4 holding hands in the driveway.
All wearing red jumpsuits, one leather glove, Birkenstocks.
And I'm sure by now you guys know, like, all right, we've seen the trailers. Yes, it's them. They break into the house, and they make the family that we've been following this whole time sit on one side, while the family in red jumpsuits sits on the other side. And then the doppelganger mom starts talking, and immediately when she starts talking, she's creepy as fuck.
She's like,
there's a story.
Yeah. She's so good in this.
Yes.
So we're gonna call them tethers, which will make sense later. So the red jumpsuit people are the tethers.
Yes.
Okay. So the dad tether got a longer beard, and every once in a while he'll go like,
yeah.
It just fucking none of them talk except for the mom tether, Lupita's tether.
Yes.
The daughter looks almost like the fucking Joker.
Dude,
she's so good.
She's fucking amazing.
She's like just staring at the human version, or the real one, just like, smiling, always smiling.
Oh.
And then the tether son, has a white mask, eyes open and mouth open, and he's like always on the ground, like crawling around. He's like, and so I'm gonna take this over because I want it to go fast because I want to get to the other shit. So basically, she has them all separate. The husband and his tether. The tether takes him out. They go out on the boat. He ends up killing him. The daughter and the tether. Tether Lupita says to the daughter, "Run." And she had been bitching about like track and field and why do I need track and field. So and the mom says, "Run, go." And so she takes off and her tether slowly walks out and is kind of like giving her a head start. The son, Lupita says, or the tether says, "Go play with him." And then before real Lupita tells her son, before he goes, she says to him, "Show him a trick." Right?
Right.
So they go off and then Lupita's talking to her. I really want to fly through this. Fuck, can we just reveal it? Because I want to fucking tell you what I found out.
Okay. If you've seen the movie, you're in the spoiler section, so you know what happens. But we find out that the twist is that Lupita, in the white clothes, who's been fighting this whole time, was actually the one that switched, and she's the real tether. And kills the real version of herself.
Yeah, when they were girls, like all you saw is her seeing her mirror image, and then it cut away. But what you didn't see, which they reveal at the end, is the one that was in there switched and dragged her down and cuffed her. And so supposedly in these tunnels there was a government experiment where they were making clones of everyone, and what they were able to clone the outside, but they didn't have souls. None of them could talk except for Lupita because she was a human. She wasn't a clone. And the clone one that was up above since a kid, that's why she wasn't talking, and they said she had PTSD and she taught herself to talk.
Right.
And they had red jumpsuits because the daughter, when she got pulled down there, she had a Hands Across America shirt and everybody was in red.
Yes.
The little figurines. So that's why they have the red jumpsuit. They have a one glove because she had a Thriller shirt and Michael Jackson had one glove.
Oh, man.
Yep. What else did I find out? So that's all that. Now, some shit that I want that's going to blow your dick away. If this is true, I have no confirmation of this. This is a theory I have.
Okay.
Before this movie, before we come into the movie, present day, the year before, the sun switched.
Yeah.
Oh, you know this?
Yes. I told you that.
Did you?
Oh, over text message.
Oh, well, I have like reasons why I think. Do you?
Okay. I have several different reasons.
Okay,
also.
and I got so much shit. Okay, number one, when they are driving to the beach and she's like, "Get on beat," and he's not on beat, right? Remember later when they are all in the car and then the kid is there and he like the other kid starts walking backwards and then the guy. Well, when he first stands up, remember they're over him and they back up and then he stands up.
Yeah.
He's going like this and he's on beat.
Oh shit. Oh yeah. That's right.
Also, one of the because I was watching for all this shit. Oh man, you're gonna be like, oh fuck. Remember at the very beginning when she goes to tell the daughter goodnight, she walks in and she goes, "Hey, get off your phone." Doesn't hug her, doesn't kiss her or anything. She just goes, "Hey, get off your phone." She goes, "Okay." She turns the lights off. She rolls over. She goes into her son's room. She gets on the bed with him and is like talking to him, puts her hand up. He intertwines Hands Across America.
Oh, my God.
Also, when she kills her, the real Lupita, and she takes her son out of the locker, she said, "You're safe now. They can't. They're all gone. They can't get us anymore." And they do the hand thing again. And I think when she's saying they're all gone, she's saying the humans.
Oh shit! Except for her family, except for the dad and the daughter.
Yeah, I mean she means like the fucking yeah.
Yeah. Now, can I have
wait? I think I have something else.
Okay, go ahead.
Also, I think. At the end when they show all the people in red are going across the world. So I think whenever that took place, what they're trying to imply is we are tethers. The tethers took over from that point on.
Okay, I like that.
Or they're amongst us at least.
Right. And there's a lot of and everyone's saying this, and so we might as well say it too. But I mean, we caught on to this, but it's. It's a commentary on the lower class.
That's what
finally deciding to rise up and say, "Hey, we're people too.
Yeah.
And that's made evident when they first meet their tethers, and the dad asks, "What are you people?" And Lupita goes, "We're Americans."
Yeah. Also, the movie Us is U.S., which is America.
Yeah, United States.
Also, so when they're at the table and he can't get the magic trick to work, and they said it worked the year before, the kid was fucking around and burnt his face from that magic trick.
Make it so he can't talk.
Well, his face is all fucked up, and it had something to do with the magic trick, because when she tells her a fellow tether son to go in the closet, she goes, "Show him your trick." And remember, they're in the closet, and he's going like this, and the guy's freaking out. And then when it finally sparks, he's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, because he lit himself on fire when he was trying to do this last time, whenever the switch happened.
Yeah.
I mean, that fucking... I mean, we were sitting there for 40 minutes, like we said, piecing everything together, and I knew there was something we were missing, and we all felt that way. We were all sitting there going, there's a piece missing, and it was partially because we wanted to keep going, dude, what about this, and blow each other's minds. But I could feel as I was leaving, like, there's one more thing I know I'm missing.
Yeah.
I know it. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. I could not stop. And all I could do was thinking about the movie. And I'm like, the son has a really big part. And then and then I watched somebody break down why they think the son is the guy. And they show it to you very early on when they're on the beach.
Oh, yeah, he's digging tunnels.
He's digging a tunnel rather than building a sandcastle.
Yeah.
And the tunnel is a very big part in the movie. They say that there's a ton of tunnels and abandoned subways all over the country that nobody knows about.
And also he says something like "up your anus" or something.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What do you?" And he's like, "That's not a bad word, is it?" Like, he doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
He's learning language.
Yeah, because he's still learning how to exist on the world now, pretending to be a human being, and so that makes you think about all those times where he's seeing his mom react when she decides to kill the twins, the tethered twins in the red jumpsuit, and she's like, He's got this look of terror on his face that I think we are supposed to, and I think that's why the twist is so fucking obvious. And it's actually really genius for him to do that, to place the emphasis on the son's reaction to the mom puts us in his head. So now he thinks she's evil and a tethered version, which when we get to the reveal, we're fucking sitting there going, yeah, I saw that coming a mile away, which is brilliant because it completely puts off the idea that that son was switched at any point. Yeah. So when you're fucking sitting at home trying to figure out what did I just watch and is it any good? It's all of a sudden you're like, the son is the plot twist.
Yeah,
the son was he's been the plot twist, and we just didn't fucking see it because he paints it as like, this is the plot twist. She was switched. Ta-da! And we're like, boo.
Yeah.
Until you get home and you're like, wait a minute!
Yeah.
Oh my
dude.
God!
I was watching so much shit. Another thing again, when I watched it just the other night, I was looking for all this shit. So when the tethers first come, Lupita is like all over her son, hugging him.
Yeah.
She's not even like, there's certain parts where she's got both of them. Majority of them, she's like this on her son, and she's like, to her daughter, she's like, come over here. But then she's just on the son.
Right, yeah.
And there's multiple times where it's like she's focused more on the son. And then that hand thing is really interesting to me. And then the beat thing. Like when I saw that, when he was sitting there, I was like, why is he snapping? There's got to be a reason why why wouldn't he just be sitting there? There was got to be a reason he was snapping when he was in the red jumpsuit like this.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, fuck. Remember, the one kid couldn't get on beat, but this one's on beat because he's the fucking human.
And so that makes you think, does she keep going back to try and switch out, to get the switch out? So like, all right, she was able to do it last year with the son. And maybe this year she's going to try and get the other daughter and do another switch out, but it never gets to that point because the other human Lupita has been crafting a way to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And so there's that aspect to it. Because when the white family gets murdered, when I was watching Elizabeth Moss, when she's a tethered version of herself, and she's pretending to cry and be upset, and then it starts to turn into a laugh, but nothing's coming out.
Yeah.
She's genuinely terrifying to look at. She's fucking scary as shit. And that's a fucking great. The other question I pose is, does Elizabeth Moss's tether not kill the I'm going to call her White Lupita because she's in white clothes.
Okay.
So when white clothed Lupita,
or just say Lupita and tether Lupita. How about that?
Okay, yeah. Well,
okay, you mean
yeah, because it gets confusing in my head.
Right.
So white clothes Lupita is chained up, and nobody's doing anything to her. She gets dragged.
Like when she brings the scissors, then she like gets frustrated because she can't do it almost.
So my thinking is, does she not? And I posed this question, and nobody could answer it. Does she not cut Lupita's face
because she's a tether?
Because she's a tether,
or because she's saving her for Lupita?
Right.
Human.
Like, what's that reason? And then she goes over and just starts cutting herself.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of that?
I guess it's your interpretation, but it's one of those, I think.
Can we talk about things we didn't like? Because I have one that I didn't like.
What didn't you like?
The dad.
Oh, yeah.
He's great. I love him in fucking Black Panther. I think he's like one of the best parts of Black Panther, and he's a great actor. It's his character that I cannot fucking stand.
He's worthless in this movie.
Yes, exactly. He can't protect his family, and I'll chalk it up to, like, if there was a fucking version of myself coming in and it just had no fear on his face, of course I'd be freaked out too. But there's a moment where you got to think to yourself, do something.
Well,
Stop.
The kid, the son, is sitting there, and she gets out, and he looks like he wants a kiss from her. I'm like, get the fuck out of the car, you dummy.
Yeah, or there's moments where he's like making jokes, and it doesn't apply to the scene. It just doesn't apply, and it doesn't make any sense, and I really hated it. There's moments where, like, devastation has just happened. They're realizing that there are people out there in red jumpsuits who look like other people. We have no idea what the fuck's going on. And he's just sitting there with an ice pack on his knee, cracking jokes. And I'm like, that's not a thing.
Real, yeah.
I don't like it. And it's still to this day, after I've mulled it over for an entire 4 or 5 days now, I still think that those scenes for levity are nothing. They're nonsense.
So did I tell you the thing I read about him? Mm-mm. So this is the only reason I give him a pass, is I read that Jordan Peele didn't want to cast him because he didn't know, again, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of that he's huge. He's like 6'4", I guess.
Yeah.
And like he was so intimidating in Black Panther that he didn't know if he could pull off this role as like a dad, you know?
Right.
So I'm wondering if he, knowing that, almost like goobered it up more.
Sure, but there's also...
But I mean, it's also the writing is the writing.
Yeah, there's writing. The moment when Lupita goes, all right, I got to go into the tunnels, and this is the big moment, the big thing where the audience, both us and Lupita, are going to figure out what the fuck is going on. Now, I think in a movie, I wouldn't say better movie, but I think in a movie that had to figure out a way to separate people to where we are now isolated with her only so she can have this revelation with her doppelganger self, would make a lot of sense if maybe the dad was killed. And then she told the daughter to stay up, or the dad's still all fucked up and she sits there and there's a moment where she goes, stay with her, I'm going to go get the son, which is also a thing where they should have an argument about it. Like, hey, honey, shouldn't I come down and protect you? Let me try and protect you, blah, blah, blah. But he doesn't do any of that.
Yeah, when Lupita gets pulled into the house by all the white people, he just immediately just starts backing up. I mean, like, I would think your first reaction would be like, hey, fine. But you got a bat. Fucking run up there.
Run in there and do something, and he doesn't. But that's a perfect example. As far as he fucking knows, she's dead now. Yeah. She just got pulled into a house.
Which, by the way, the way that was filmed was just, I don't know, it sticks out in my head. I don't know why, but like you just see these arms and fucking pulling her in.
Yeah. Like, okay, it's over for her. And us as audience members know it's not over for her because she's the main character. But the family doesn't know that. So there should be a lot more. Why are you backing up than getting as far from the fucking house as you possibly can? You might as well just start up the boat and drive away. You get as far as you... Yeah, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And then you sit there and coast, shoot a flare gun, and then burn that guy alive. Your wife, as far as you know, is dead now. They had enough time to kill her and cut her head off and put it on a spike as long as it took his limping ass to fucking do something. And when he limps all the way to the ambulance and Lupita just on her own... goes down into the fucking little hallway to go into the House of Mirrors and figure out what's going on so we can know as an audience what is actually happening. He just explains away the fact that he's not going with her by saying, Mom will know what to do. Mom hasn't known what to do this whole fucking time, as far as he knows. Because as far as I know, that's what he knows is what I know. So if I don't know... then he doesn't know because I've been following him and he doesn't know anything and she doesn't know anything as far as he knows. So if they don't know and I don't know, why the fuck would she know?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just remembered another Sun hint, I think. And two things. So remember every time he hides in some place, he puts that little toy ambulance?
Yes.
So that toy ambulance, when he's in the closet and everything, it represents that's his way to get out of that closet, right?
Right.
That's also how they got out of everything was an ambulance.
Oh my God, that's so genius.
Another thing, when he's in there early, the son has that ambulance and the daughter comes and she kicks it and he starts freaking out. And Lupita, I believe Lupita comes up and she says, "Oh, don't you remember this happened last year?"
That's right.
And
that's right.
And then he traps the one in there who freaks the fuck out.
He also freaks out.
Yeah.
Too. He also has a tether moment where when he gets trapped, he's like, he starts losing his shit. So, yeah, I mean, it all just... And what's great is I was watching a movie review of it, and this guy was like, I just wish... And it was so funny because I had just learned about the son... Or no, I hadn't learned about the son, and we'd already had the breakdown of it, and I had come to the conclusion that the twist of us knowing that it's her, that she was switched, has to be told to us because it doesn't make any sense for it to be ambiguous. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Which I would hate.
Yes, obviously you would, and I would hate too because. If we're led to believe that the tethers can't talk, and then it's left as a question mark whether she was switched or not, it doesn't make any sense because we would know that the tethers can't talk. So why the fuck does this one know how to talk? So. Then we're going to be sitting here going like, oh, was she? Wasn't she? It's obvious. And I think Jordan knows that it was obvious. Which is why, so it was funny for this guy to go, in his review, he was like, I just wish they would have left that a little more ambiguous so we could, it could be debated. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Then I learned about the son, which opened up that whole can of worms. So I'm like, everything about that movie was methodical.
Oh, dude. That's why he's like, he is a genius. Like the layers and levels to this movie are, I don't know anybody that... Like I talked to a friend of mine that saw it, and her reaction afterwards was kind of like, "Nah, I don't think it's going to win." I'm like, we need to talk. You need to talk about it with someone, and then you'll want to see it again. Like, dude, I was like wanting to take notes as I was watching this movie. I was like, I actually put notes in my phone that I was like, "Holy shit, I got to tell Kane about this and this," and I was like. When you see the guy like that, I'm like, oh fuck, that's the old guy with the 1111 sign.
Yeah, and this movie is the reason you go to the movies.
Yeah,
like you have to.
What's the timer at?
We got a minute.
Oh, fucking.
So I think we covered all the spoilers.
You were going to say, though, that this is
But
why.
essentially, this us is the reason you go and see movies at the movie theater. Because to do what we did afterwards, again, I'm saying it was the best part of the movie. It was us breaking it down, trying to figure out the little things, and watching you guys. Because again, I didn't have an opinion one way or the other until I needed to like break it down. I was leaning towards like it was okay because of the obvious plot twist, and I also was thinking in my head like he's better than that.
Yeah.
And I know he's better than that, and I know he knows he's better than that. So.
Okay, if you're just getting back now, don't worry, there's not going to be any more plot twists.
Yes.
I mean, no spoilers. Yeah, we're just talking about like the effects of the movie. And there was when we were outside talking, I don't remember what point it was that it might have been you that brought it. I think it was you that brought it up. We're just we're all sitting there pretty close, about 3 or 4 feet from each other. You said something from the movie, and all of us looked at each other, and we immediately it was like somebody dropped a grenade in the middle of us, and we all just went, oh!
Yeah, we had to walk away.
Oh,
my
dude.
God, that's right, that happened.
Yeah, that movie, I would, anybody that, if you haven't seen it yet, I would plan to see it twice.
Yeah, if you walk away thinking that this was a stinker, and
then come back and listen to everything we just went over.
Yeah, and then go back and rewatch it, and form your own opinions. If you did skip over this, watch it. If you did skip over spoilers and then you go and see the movie and then you think to yourself, okay, now I can listen to the spoiler review part of the episode. Don't do that yet. Watch it again.
Yeah.
If you really walked out of there thinking I didn't like it, see it again.
And watch it like it's study it like it's a homework assignment,
and then come back and listen to the spoiler episode.
It's fucking. I'm like, dude, I was thinking, I'm like, dude, he's getting Quentin Tarantino status for me.
He's getting fucking.
I mean, he's 2 for 2 in my head.
He's got a lot of the camera angles and the things he would do with movements and shit. Reminded me a lot of Stanley Kubrick movies, like The Shining.
They said that there was almost a nod to that when they're in the tunnels, and she has. This is no spoiler, because I'm not going to be too detailed. When they're in the tunnels and she has the fire poker. How she's.
Oh yeah! Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's amazing.
All right, well, that's all right.
All right, that's the end of us.
Yeah, I give it 10 out of 10. What do you give it?
For sure, 10 out of 10. It's one of those great movies that will be talked about.
That should be my goal. I'm going to tag Jordan Peele in this. I just want to be in one of his movies, whatever.
Yeah, I want to be a background character. Dude, if I could be in the carnival scene, that would be great.
You don't need makeup. You're good. All right, so what else do you want to go over? Come on, it's fucking
my new makeup channel. Best of the best.
Yes. Whoa.
So since we're on movies,
yes,
I pitched Jay this idea for best of the best movie scores and movie soundtracks. 2 different things. A movie score is like a perfect example, and it's on my list, The Dark Knight. And the reason that I picked The Dark Knight over Batman Begins is because you have the Batman theme, which is the ba 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 ba, but then you have Joker's theme, which is just the guitar string being stretched. Yeah.
Oh,
and
it's so creepy.
What Hans Zimmer said about that, he's like, he wanted a representation of what it's like to be inside this guy's head, and it's just a long, stretched out tension that never gets broken. And I was like, that's fucking amazing. So
I watched an interview with Michael Jai White.
Yeah,
that's his name, right?
Yeah,
you know who I'm talking about, right? So
Spawn.
Yeah, and he was. They were talking about Heath, and they were asking him all the shit you heard, like, oh, this role affected him, and he was like, I hate when people said that. He goes, Heath was on set was great. He was light and everything. We would cut and he was saying like Heath would ask him. He was like, hey, do you think I should do it this way or do you think? And he was looking at him like, you're asking me that, dude. You're fucking killing it, But he says he gets angry at that. He was like, Keith was lighthearted. He was the best.
Yeah.
And it wasn't him. They say cut and he's still like all fucking weird. So that was interesting because all I've heard is that Heath was like, oh, this and that,
what's pretty funny is I watched an interview with Gary Oldman, and he was like, they were like, so yeah, we hear Heath was method actor. He stayed in character the entire movie, and Gary Oldman goes, Yeah, no, he didn't do that. He and I don't particularly find actors who do that interesting to talk to in the first place. And what's funny is that movie star is Christian Bale, who is a notorious fuck. That's what he does. When he's Dick Cheney, you have to call him Dick Cheney. He's Dick Cheney. He won't break character.
I think Daniel Day-Lewis is like that
same,
too.
Yeah, same thing.
They called him Mr. Lincoln during the
Yeah, you gotta call him Lincoln.
Yeah, he's at the craps table. Hey, Daniel, call me Mr. Okay,
Lincoln.
I just want to let you know, Mr. Lincoln, the Lunchables are over there. Fucking. And I love Daniel Day-Lewis as an actor, but I'm like, that's fucking.
Can you imagine what he was like on set as Daniel Plainview from There Will Be Blood?
Dude.
That fucking maniac.
Yeah.
I drank your milkshake.
One of my favorite lines ever, in the name of the Father. You know what I did? I wrote your name in the dirt. I did. And then I pissed on it. I did. I pissed on your name. It's one of my fucking.
But I think best movie score. I got my list.
Yeah.
I sent it to you. I think.
And I got a soundtrack that we didn't mention.
So I think my top 5 are The Dark Knight, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is great. I mean, because it's really
these are all like original songs.
Yeah. Made by composers. So like for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, you have wow 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 wow.
Dude, do you have Exorcist on there?
I do not. That's a great one.
Halloween.
Halloween's also great. Sicario, I think, is brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars, I put that in there because who doesn't know that?
And I said Rocky.
Rocky, and then Arrival got a really great score.
Dude, I almost feel like we need more time on this, like to really dig in.
We can always come back.
The soundtracks, though, one.
I have for soundtracks, and this I wanted to say, like, it's got to go with the movie. Like, it can't just be here's a soundtrack that we made as inspiration for the movie. I think it has to go with the way Quentin Tarantino or Edgar Wright makes a movie. The movie and the song have to fit in the scene, and so like I think Jackie Brown is a great one. Drive, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
That'd be tough because it's so good.
Almost Famous, and then of course 8 Mile.
The Departed.
Yes, The Departed is also a great one. Friday's brilliant. I like Friday.
Fuck, dude. Man. The Departed, I just think of that beginning when Jack Nicholson's talking.
Yeah.
And then you hear fucking Rolling Stones comes in just perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
And then they also have, they have Dropkick Murphys in there. And then they have like, it's, I'm trying to think of fucking.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
I had to look a bunch of things up, and there I'm like, oh, I mean, you could. I'm not of this era, but I'm sure there's arguments to be made for Purple Rain.
Yeah. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Even though Bohemian Rhapsody is just a dog shit ass movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Scorsese does it with Goodfellas, but I don't know if it came out now, you could do it.
Not that great of a movie, but Made. Vince Vaughn. Oh, dude.
I'm like looking at my movies right now.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah.
Jesus.
See, there's a lot, and you'd have to. I'd also put it to you like you'd want to have this soundtrack and bump it too.
Yeah.
So it goes well with the movie. So I think Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, that might be hard to beat.
I picked 2 over 1. I think 2's got the best. Has the best soundtrack of the 2 movies. Even though Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is the better movie, 2 has the better soundtrack.
Yeah. Dude, then there's you have New Jack City, shit that you probably don't remember or watched.
I've seen New Jack City. I don't remember much about
soundtrack.
it.
I think that's got Christopher Williams on that soundtrack and If I'm Dreaming. All right. Fuck, man. Then you have I just saw Blow.
Oh yeah, Blow's got a great one.
Scarface with the Scarface soundtrack.
I don't remember. I don't know if Scarface had a big musical representation. I know that Oh Brother Where Art Thou's soundtrack's really good. If you like old
Kill Bill?
music, Kill Bill's got a good one. Oh fuck! What's the other Coen Brothers movie? The
Fargo?
dude, The Big Lebowski's got a good soundtrack.
Ocean's 11. Fuck. I feel like we should.
You want to mull it over?
Yeah, we
Think
should
about it. Bring it back.
Let's do it on the next week.
Next week,
because I definitely want to think about it.
Don't let us forget, audience, listener, people.
Okay, we're at a great time. All right, so do you have a worthless of the week?
I gotta think on it. Do you have one?
What is my worthless of the week?
I mean, my fucking back pain is a big worthless.
Your
of the
back's
week.
hurting?
Yeah, for weeks now.
Is it being in the chair thing now, or what?
No, not being in the chair. Just I have an old injury, and it flared up after my last when I was dealing with that fuckface. And I was pissed off and stressed out, and I was doing some, I had to take some fucking side work until I got another gig, and I hurt my back because I was all pissed off and I made a wrong turn, and put me on my ass for 4 days.
That's right. Okay, I remember.
Yeah, and so I have a back brace I got to wear, and I got to take Advil. It's really great to be sober during this.
You're old. You're fucking getting there, bro.
It's like if I could just, if I wasn't in a program. It'd be nice to just have a belt and be numb for a while, but I don't know why I air quoted program. It's a real thing.
Yeah. I guess I'm sober.
Yeah. I guess my worthless is me for not being able to handle my shit. And now
I get it.
Now when I'm hurt, I have to feel every fucking second of it.
I know what my worthless is.
What is it?
My worthless is I guess it's really as trolls, but it's more specifically, it's like commenters that. Here's an example. So Kevin and I's show Aska.
Sure.
Today we posted a very serious topic, and Kevin and I are both comics, So
What's the topic?
Ask a survivor of attempted suicide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Meech on Mars, Demetrius Harmon was our guest, and great dude, and he talked openly about it. Now, Kev posts the video. The video is like an hour and a half long. Kev posts the videos like 3 minutes after it's posted. People are commenting, how the fuck can you joke about that? They haven't watched it. They're just like, this is not funny. Why would you joke about it? Or, luckily, these are the people that are like, you did not watch the video. Like the people are like, watch the fucking video, and
because it's too. That's the thing about people who just automatically assume comics can't talk about serious subjects.
Yeah, and like, I mean, there's parts in the hour and a half where we all are laughing in unison about something, but it's not like he's like, yeah, I tried to kill myself, and we're like, oh shit, that's hilarious. People just
and you didn't do it. Womp 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 womp.
So people are they're so quick to comment. And I also, I've always been like, kind of like, you can flip me shit. And I'm more quick to defend a friend than I am myself. Like, sure. I mean, I have no problem like talking shit back and forth, but like, it takes everything in my power. Like people that are bad mouthing Kev, like people like we did Ask a Drug Dealer, Ask a Porn Star, and for Ask a Drug Dealer, it was Rick Ross, and people were getting on there like, Kev, how can you call yourself a Christian and blah, blah, blah. Again, luckily, there's many people on there that will get on and they're like, isn't this what Jesus did? Jesus, and all this.
Yeah.
And I want to get on there and be like, dude, Kev to me is the epitome of what a Christian should be. He talks the talk, but he walks the walk.
Yeah.
And he doesn't judge.
Right.
And
when he walks, there's another set of footprints right next to him. That was Jesus. So when he walks the walk, he walks the walk. It just keeps.
Is he Jesus?
No. It's
what
just
are you saying?
Kev, and then next to him is Jesus. So when he walks the walk, there's more of walking.
And then he saw one pair of footsteps, and he was like, Jesus, why would you abandon me? And what did Jesus say?
That's when I carried your career. Oh shit. The
Are you talking
holy.
about Kev's career?
No, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. No, I know what you mean though.
Good recovery.
Thank you.
No, I just.
I mean, it is.
I hate
ridiculous.
people like, watch it. I'm all for if you want to watch it and then comment, but and you have valid points. I mean, people will say, people that have watched it will have comments on things. Like sometimes people will say, like, oh Jesus, like I was asking questions, and sometimes people will be like, spit it out, and I'll reply to them. I'll be like, honestly, as I'm asking a question, I'm thinking, because the show is not a got you show. Right. It's just to learn and understand. So I might be in my head, like I have an initial question, but as I'm saying to it, I'm like, I got to make sure I'm asking it respectfully. I don't want it to be like accusatory or anything. So I'll be stuttering and stammering because it's like my mouth is moving faster than my brain, or vice versa.
Right.
Or somebody will be like, get off your phone. And I'm like, just so you know, I'm not texting. I'm looking at all the questions that were sent in. And so I'll reply to people like that. But people that are just so quick to just be like, the comment on something, or like the when we did Ask a Drug Dealer, and people are like, how are you condoning this? And like, we weren't like, hey, here's how to become a... Yeah, dude.
That wasn't one of the questions. Jesus Christ. Oh, excuse me. But I think... but what I think is so fun... Dude, yeah, Christianity... I mean, there's a hypocrisy all over the place with that shit. I remember my uncle belonged to this church, and he's a Christian, devout Christian, and he still is, which I find commendable, because when he was previously married, went to this church. Everybody loved him, and he was well known in the church. Then him and his wife split up because they weren't getting along, and that's what you do. It's a lot healthier of a decision, even though God frowns upon that kind of thing. What else are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
Live in a loveless fucking marriage? You think that's what God wants? So he breaks it. They break it off. Right. Try to be as amicable as possible. And then he goes to church, now a single man, looking for companionship. And like, hey, I'm going through a tough time. My wife and I just split up. It's a transitional period. I would like the church to be there to comfort me. And they fucking ousted him. Ugh. They told him to get the fuck out because he got a divorce. And it's just like, well, how is that Christian?
Yeah, Again, like Kev is like James and Ty. I think we talked about this before. How like I look at James and Ty as Christians. Like they never, because I lived with James and Ty and their daughters, and I was Uncle Jason, and they never once were like, Jason, you need to do this, or ever. I think Kev had a term for it. It was like you're using the Bible as like a hammer, hammering down on stuff. And Kev's the same way. Like. He leads by example, which I think is the best way to do anything, Well,
I think, and again, I didn't make this point before. I don't know why I said that, but this is a new show. It's pretty much brand new. What are you guys, like 5-7 episodes in? So it's a brand new show. So what I think is interesting about people who automatically comment, this isn't a funny thing to joke about. Well, that's not the point of the show to begin with anyway. If you've watched the show from jump, then you would know that the point of the show is not to make fun of it. Maybe there are some funny, lighthearted moments, like when you talk about anything. When you talk about suicide with people who've either experienced it firsthand, or they've seen people that go through it, there are going to be moments where it's such an intense conversation. You build enough tension in that moment, someone's going to break it. Either the person that did it or the person that you're talking about it with. You're going to break the tension. It's human nature to do that shit. They say, I know this from talking to him. I have a buddy our buddy, Billy O'Connor. Yeah. 9/11 first responder firefighter. And I also know this from cops that, like, people that are around death and have to deal with that have, like, the darkest humor. Yeah. And they will crack jokes at a crime scene looking at the most horrific stuff because that's the only way you can fucking deal with it and process it, Dude, when I told a buddy of mine who has had cancer, and we were sitting at a coffee shop, and I was telling him about, like, when I was sitting on the street going, God damn it, if I could just get hit by a bus or a brick would fall on my head and it would all be over, it would be nice. I was just having those suicidal thoughts that I've just now started to have couple years ago, just because life was getting to me. And he goes, he was laughing at my story, and then he goes, what's funny is I was sitting in the doctor's office, and then he came in and he told me it was cancer, and I laughed in his face, and I was like, "Of course it's cancer. Why wouldn't it?" That was his first reaction was, "Why wouldn't it be cancer?" Because it's like you when you live your life thinking to yourself like you're feeling down on yourself, and then someone goes, "Here's more bad news," and then even he thinks to himself like, "You know what? This is good. This is good because now I don't have to worry about killing myself. God will do it for me." And we were sitting in the coffee shop laughing and laughing. It's a funny, interesting anecdote about a really serious topic. But how the fuck else are you supposed to get through it? You're just supposed to be doom and gloom the whole goddamn time? What do you think? What do you think it happens when the guys who star in Marvel movies go and visit sick children? Do they sit there and just pour over what's wrong with them, or do you think they try and joke with them and make them feel better? People are fucking idiots.
Yes. So that's my worthless.
Fucking Iron Man's gonna come in and be like, "So what's wrong with you? How long do you have?"
I guess that'd be Cyclops. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were raising the mask.
Oh, I mean,
I didn't know.
Yeah,
you
that's
were
what I was doing.
lasering the kid's
That's what we were doing.
fucking face. God, you're dumb too. I've been dumb the whole episode, but you just.
I just ended it on a nice dumb. All right, what do you want to plug?
Kane Holloway on Instagram at Kane Holloway. I got.
How have you been doing with your daily?
I haven't.
I know.
I tried.
Yeah, that one day. Great job.
I'm gonna do it again.
Great. One a week.
Oh, the one thing I wanted to put up to you. Put up to you.
You want to talk on this or Alf?
No, now. Okay. So a listener of my other show is doing this thing, and I want to see if you want to do it. He's doing the 365 movie challenge. So it's watch one movie every single day for 365 movies for a whole year. But you got to watch a new movie. It can't be a movie you've already seen.
Okay.
You got to try and watch a movie every day, something you haven't seen before. You think you'd be interested in something like? Because I really want to.
I would love to do that, but I don't know if I can.
Right.
Because I think about like travel, certain days of travel, and then getting backed up, and then you're like, well, fuck, now I have to watch 2 movies. That's 4 hours in one day.
Right.
How about the 52-week challenge?
52 weeks?
Yeah, one a week.
Yeah, okay.
And then we can talk about it, and we'll do the same one. We'll sync up.
Yeah.
So we'll do and then we can talk about it on the podcast.
52-week challenge.
Boom,
Cool.
There it is. All right.
New movie. 1 week I suggest. The other week you suggest. Perfect. I love it.
All right, done.
52-week challenge coming at you starting next week.
And I'm at Big RSJ. I'm going out to when this comes out. I'll be in Friday. I'm at the J Spot. Wednesday, I'm at TJ's Bar, I think it's called. You can go to Big Irish J for that. Just go to bigirishj.com, click on shows. That'll tell you what's coming up.
Just do it already. Stop being a little dingus, right? Up top.
What's the opposite of sell?
Bye.